Yes, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. A fresh update from the Jewish conspiracy. For those new to this channel, this is a service I provide to my subscribers. I keep them woke on what we Jews have been conspiring, as part of our grand scheme to take over the world. But don't worry, when we do, those goyim who support me monetarily shall be rewarded, and we will go easy on them. Today's video will contain an update on how you can support me, as there have been some changes lately. And it is also a reminder for those of you who don't support me yet, that you better do so quickly, for a takeover is imminent. I know I haven't updated in a year and a half, but there's a good reason for it. Let me remind you what we discussed in my last update. I told you about Operation Gerbil, meant to ensure that the goyim keep their head up their ass and remain unaware of what we Jews are scheming. And we would have gotten away with it, too, if it wasn't for those meddling YouTube kids who have been foiling our plans and getting the goyim woke. We realized then that we have to keep a low profile for a while, and that is why I had nothing to report. But this does not mean that we have been sitting idly by. We have come to two conclusions. First, that we need to take control over Silicon Valley, and then to silence those bothersome YouTubers. Second, that Operation Gerbil didn't go far enough. We need to turn the goyim into actual gerbils, if we want it to succeed. So our scientists got to work on figuring out how to turn humans into animals. By that I don't mean that they will look like animals. They will still look human, but they will think and behave like an animal of our choosing, and thus be easy to control. It turns out, however, that it is hard to make humans into small animals like gerbils. We needed to test it with human-sized animals first. We couldn't decide which animal to start with, but then the head of Mossad said,
"You know, I have one simple request, and that is to have sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads."
So we needed sharks. Our scientists thus concocted the most addictive video, designed to condition people into becoming sharks.
Baby shark do-do-do-do-do-do, baby shark do-do-do-do-do-do, baby shark do-do-do-do-do-do, baby shark. Mommy shark do-do-do-do-do-do, mommy shark do-do-do-do-do-do, mommy shark do-do-do-do-do-do, mommy shark.
It was indeed addictive, and the video got billions of views on YouTube. But it didn't turn people into sharks. It just made them into morons who do this stupid dance. So our scientists got to work again, and this time we were sure they got it right. Since we already used the YouTube option for the shark thing, we didn't want to arouse suspicion by doing it again, so we needed to find some other venue that will reach millions of goyim. We decided that the Eurovision Song Contest will serve the purpose. One of our agents, called Neta, was sent to give a performance that will condition all those who watch it. Again, we wanted to start with something easy, a human-sized animal. So on the day of the contest, Prime Minister Netanyahu sent Neta a message on Twitter to let her know which animal she should simulate. Unfortunately, something got lost in the translation, and Neta got the wrong message.
Ouch. Ouch.
Oy vey, instead of turning the viewers into cows, we turned them into chickens. Worse, we forgot to warn Netanyahu himself not to watch the show. And so... let me tell you, it required a long process to restore him to his human self. Our entire yearly budget of advancing a nuclear war between the Koreas had to be diverted to this treatment, setting us back a few years. In short, we still haven't worked out all the kinks in the plan. There were even worse outcomes. One of our experiments totally backfired, and the subject actually turned into an animal. Worse, he has become a total Jew hater, who is now working to foil our plans. We are trying to find him and eliminate him, but we are dealing with a dangerous mastermind here, and so far he has evaded even our mighty power. We have managed to obtain a recent photo of him, and I am going to show it to you now, so you can appreciate what a monster we have created. But I'm giving you a trigger warning first, because you might not be able to handle it. Prepare yourselves, for it is the most vicious animal you've ever seen, the face of pure evil. Here we go. Yes, this is the new leader of the anti-Zionist Nazi insurgency. This is our nemesis, and he goes under the codename Buddha. So far, like I said, we have not been able to find him. All we know is that he is located in Scotland somewhere. This here is his right hand. I'm not sure what animal that is. And with him we had more success, and we got the Scotland police to arrest him on some bullshit charge. But the top dog is still at large. Another unintended consequence was that US President Donald Trump watched the Eurovision, despite our agents warning him not to do so. And he was so affected by Netta's performance that he decided that he wants to be in next year's contest. Here is the tape that he submitted to the organizers.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, folks. I'm Donald Trump.
You know our wings will make you happy. Trophy!
Yep, this is what happened to people who watched Netta perform. They dress in yellow and behave like chicken. But this time, we managed to turn it in our favor. First, we helped the Americans unchickenize their president and return him to his human self. For a hefty sum, of course. At the same time, we obtained the embarrassing footage of his performance, and we threatened to release it, unless Trump recognizes Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Score another one for the Jews. This wasn't received well around the world, though. The French President Emmanuel Macron, for instance, criticized Trump for this move. Well, we don't take lightly to such insolence, so we've let the chicken loose on the streets of Paris. I have warned you people before, don't mess with us Jews, for we are mighty. In another good break, it turns out that all the heads of Silicon Valley also watch the Eurovision. And we have made an amazing discovery. Chicken can be hypnotized. All you have to do is draw a line in front of them, and they become docile and obedient. So, we got our agents at Silicon Valley to hypnotize all other CEOs, and now we are in full control of the internets. Those pesky YouTubers aren't going to bother us for long. Or so we thought, but after we got some of them to lose their Patreon account, Buddha has been leading people to look for alternatives, and they have been following him instead of following us. This is a very shrewd enemy we are dealing with here. But don't get your hopes up. Even he is no match for the power of the Jews. Nothing can save you from your doom. Nothing, except for money, of course. You can save yourselves by showing that you have supported us monetarily. Especially now, since we really need the money. You see, we goofed again. Look what happened to the head of Mossad.
Baby shark,
Gonna take a lot to set him straight. And you can help by sending the money to me. But here there is a snag. If you continue to do so on Patreon, people might realize that you are controlled by the Jews. So, I'm going to keep my Patreon account open for now, but I've created alternatives. You can support me on PayPal, or through cryptocurrency. See links down below. If you pledge $20 a month, on any platform, you get to be in a monthly hangout with me, and learn even more of our secrets. If you pledge $10, I will see to it that when we take over, you will be turned into non-kosher animals. This is all I had to report. Until next time...